Hello, hi, welcome. We're live from Pinewood Studios here in our studio. I'm James Bradley. I'm one of the co-founders of the Liftoff Global Network, and this is the jury highlights, the judges highlights, jury highlights for the current festival, which is New York Liftoff 2021. Really excited today. Got a few films to go through to sort of talk to you about. I wanted to first kind of discuss what this actually is. So every single festival that we do, we run it in a way that the jury looks at all the films to begin with, and then they program the films into their separate programs. So all of the films are in different programs based on their initial judgment. After that, we then have the jury actually live within the festival month itself, and that jury will be watching all of the content all the way through all of the different programs and overlapping themselves. So you would have one jury member might not have seen a particular film and vice versa, and it kind of crosses over like that. So there's multiple different scores all happening at once. We think that's a much better way to actually filter through the really promising and the really good work, because we know that what happens when jury members and when judges initially judge a film, those films might not necessarily have been given a fair chance from one judgment. So when we get the scores into actually pre-program, we can then go through a much deeper filtering process, and that's what this is right now. So this is a deeper look at the films that are currently screening with us at New York Liftoff. It's really exciting. Like I say, there's only a few films today. They're not necessarily the winners. They're not the ones we're necessarily giving prizes to, but these are ones that our jury have gone through and actually said, oh, this is actually a great film. And not in respect to what it's previously scored or anything like that. It's just an opportunity for us to say, these are some of the films that we're highlighting at the moment, and we really recommend that you guys go and check them out. So if you have your links to New York Liftoff Film Festival, you can find it via our website. So just head to our website, liftoff.network/New York Liftoff Film Festival, and you'll be able to find it all through there, /New York Liftoff Film Festival, I think 2021. But you'll be able to find it. The links will be in the description for this video anyway. So go and check all of that out. So yeah, let's get on with it. So the first film we're going to talk about today features in the Judges Select Shorts category. We have a few films in this one. First of all, we're actually showing three films, talking about three films today within this particular area. And like I've said, this is where films have been scored fairly high in the actual submission process, and we've placed those films into their own particular category. And it's off the basis of there that we then spring out towards the other programs and the other categories, but the other sort of scale of judgment scores. But these are the ones that the judges have initially said are very, very good. So we place them into this particular program, and everyone feeds from that particular pool. The first film we want to talk about, and this is a very interesting one actually, because this is something that I need to talk with the film director directly about, because they haven't sold this film as best as they could. I think it's absolutely excellent, and the way that the filmmaker has sold it is very interesting. I want to kind of start first of all by kind of reading out the biog that the director have written themselves on Film Freeway, so you guys can actually hear what the filmmaker has said about the film prior to it, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the film myself. So this filmmaker, the filmmaker's name is Caroline Lydén, so it's Lide with an accent and then N, so I think that's Lydén. Caroline Lydén. Beautiful name. The director has said about this film, the young brat Alexander's anxieties takes him to an old barn in the countryside while he's preparing to end his sad life with a blue rope. He's interrupted by the grumpy, depressed Jared, and nothing goes as any one of them had planned. So, okay, sounds fairly interesting, but to me, I don't think that's a good enough written logline, because the film is way deeper than that. This is a film about people getting to the edge of their life. So having the courage or the lack of courage to commit suicide, and what those two things mean, and how two different people from two very different generations are tackling their life and are tackling this particular choice. The blue rope is obviously there to symbolize sadness, but again, I still think it's a lot deeper. There's so many different things going on in this, so many things that are unsaid. Something that I think was brought to it very much by the older actor, in the way that he kind of rejected youth, but at the same time tells the young man to get on with his life. Without giving away too much and without giving you any spoilers, the film is poignant because I think it gives a certain tone that tells people. It leaves you with a question. It kind of tells you, like, what would it be that would take you to that point in your life that would make you want to end it, and you're left with lots more questions than you are with answers, which I always think is quite good in short film. And I think it's definitely one to watch. It's like I said, I don't think the filmmaker has sold it as best as possible. A young brat, okay, a young brat, but there's something deeper going on with this guy. This young guy is dealing with things that have taken him to a point where he actually wants to end his life. He's not just some young brat. So I think personally that it's a great achievement. Maybe the logline is lost in translation, perhaps. I don't know, but it is definitely worth watching. It's an interesting short, so be sure to check that one out. And very well done to Carolyn. It's a great achievement. A really interesting film. This next one is a short documentary called Hello Sunshine. It's saying it's a story of hope, healing and survival. Just to kind of give you the log line that the director's written for this one on Film Freeway. So Roz Picardo is more than a domestic violence and gun violence survivor. She's a warrior. Despite of or because of being thrown off a bridge by an abusive ex-boyfriend, the unsolved murder of her brother and the suicide of her identical twin sister, she's able to channel her trauma into service by helping the often forgotten people of North Philadelphia. This is such a unique story, and one of the things that I love about doing what we do is finding people like this that are doing unbelievable things. This lady has had an incredible life, an incredibly sad and traumatic life, and she's turned all of those awful experiences into a force for good. It's inspiring. What's the best way to describe it? It's inspiring. It is sensitive. It's important. It's a really strong story. She helps people without any judgment whatsoever. She helps people with their addiction, with dealing with things like how to prepare people to deal with overdosing, for example. Like, would you know how to deal with someone if they were suddenly overdosing in front of you, or would you walk across the street? Like, there's these questions that come from it, and it's something, again, like, that I get very excited about when watching short film is, what are the questions being poised? What are the questions being thrown at me to actually answer here? And I think this film does it brilliantly. It's a really strong documentary. It's snappy. It's quick. It shows you a side of life that not many people get to see, and it's sad, but again, it's inspiring. And I think that the filmmaker here has done a fantastic job. This is Joe Quint, a documentary filmmaker. Brilliant work, Joe. Like, this is great. You've done her justice, and you've done her story justice, and you've done the people that she's lost in her life justice by telling her story. And I think it's a credit to you, Joe, for that. I feel so passionately about this film, and I really urge everyone to go and check it out. It's remarkable what this lady does, and for nothing. Like, she does it all volunteer based. It's all off her own back. She's an angel. It's as simple as that. And this film it goes toe to toe with the quality of what she is as a person, and the quality of what this film actually is as a message. So hats off to the filmmakers and the production team and everyone involved in this. It's a real triumph. I highly recommend you guys check it out. So on to our next one. My Mother Went with the Crows. This film is, I mean, look at that poster. That's the poster there. Look at that poster. It's so cool. This is a really interesting film. I'll just read out the quick synopsis here a second. So, Elias is a 7-year-old boy who faces the abandonment of his mother. Accompanied by depression and lack of communication from his father, Elias escapes into his fantasies to feel better and will seek his mother to the last consequences. Maria Jose Ibarra Valdez, she's done a great job here. She's a Mexican filmmaker, and this film, they say never work with children and animals in the business. This kid in this film is a fantastic actor. The performance in this from both characters, the way they found their relationship between the father and the son was so strong, and they've got a really good connection going on, and that's important because remember the camera lens is the world's biggest magnifying glass, and if you can't show genuine relationships within film, then it breaks down immediately. And I think that, I would love to speak to the director about how she actually worked on the relationships between these two actors, because it's there from the very beginning, and it's so sad, and it's so poignant. It seems to be a theme today. Maybe that's my kind of mood at the moment. I don't know. But it's great. It's a really, really great short. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's in the Judge Selects program for New York Liftoff. It's well worth a watch. The performances are fantastic. I would love to sit down with the director and go through the process of how she got the actors there. It's very economical storytelling. It's snappy. It's strong. Highly recommended. Go check it out. Okay, cool. And now we're moving on to the New Voice short. So this is a film that's featuring in the New Voice shorts, and one that I think is quite interesting. La Brouette, this is called. So La Brouette, I'll just read out the synopsis, a very short synopsis. A woman's dark secret is revealed on her small family farm. Woo. This is... I was racking my brains last night trying to find what the genre or the theme was called for this. I was like, I'm thinking it's something French. I don't know. But the films that are photographic montages, so a series of still photographs shown one after the other, and there's usually a really strong audio atmospheric narration that accompanies it, and you go from place to place. This is funny because there was two judges that actually judged this, and one judge really didn't get it, really didn't like it, and that's totally fine. Art is subjective, of course, but another judge really did like it, and I'd like to kind of agree with the latter here. I think this is a really interesting piece, and I love the idea of a reveal, of ambiguity at the beginning and then ending up with a reveal. And this film, this art piece has that. And it's interesting. You want to know what's going on. You want to understand what this dark secret is. You know there's something happening. You're not quite sure. And then it just delivers. It's so short. I think the film runs at, 3 minutes 7. That's including credits. So it's a very short film. It's well worth a watch. And also as well, it's inspiring because it makes you... As someone that makes films, I haven't made a film in a long, long time, but as someone that's interested in making films, this is always something that whenever I see it at a festival or one of our festivals, this particular style, the photo montage, I get inspired and I keep thinking about like what I would do, how I would make something. Because if you can do it with photographs, then you can make it it's a lot more economical. It's a lot more cost effective, and you could do anything. All you really need is a very good sound studio, a good microphone, and you'll be away if you wanted to get your actors together to do things. So it's really, really interesting, and I love this. I love this take. It's in black and white. It's very moody. It feels very French, even though I think it's from the UK. No, it's actually from New York. Great, a New York-based filmmaker. Really, really good, and feels very French, and feels very moody, and it's dark, which I like. So check that one out. Well worth a watch. Now moving through, we're on the Trendsetter features. So this is a feature that's featuring in our Trendsetters program. Now, this is a film called The Lost One. A very, very interesting film again. While tracking down a missing teenage girl, former police officer Shay Conway uncovers shocking secrets of the elite who will do anything to keep them hidden. Now, I want to keep the spoilers away from this here because this is the sort of thing that you don't want to be giving too much away. But it's, again, another really interesting take on a on quite a well-trodden storyline, but very good and very well acted and strong in photography and strong in location. It's all shot on location. It's a very good movie. Lots of production companies at the beginning of the credit sequences, which I thought was interesting as well. When you see indie films, you tend to get, especially indie features, you tend to get lots of different people involved, and it's always good if you're a filmmaker watching this right now. It's a real good tip to watch these indie films and see who these people are, what they're all doing. Someone might have done the financing. Someone might have provided the post-production for free. You never know. So all these different badges at the beginning are all people that were involved, that came in at different stages of the film being created to actually make it happen. The acting in this is absolutely excellent. The filmmaker, Damien Hussey, has done a really good job here. Damien is... you can tell he knows what he's doing. He's a seasoned director by the looks of things. He lectures in filmmaking, so that again, it shows. You can really see that. And yeah, it's a great piece. I think it's up there really, and having it in Trendsetters is exciting because we want to be discovering films like this all the time, and we want our members and our filmmakers and our audience and our general public to be out there watching films in our programs and being like, God, this is really good, and talking about it and stuff. So that's another one there, which I think is really, really strong and really great. And that guys, that actually concludes all of our films. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you are interested in our next festival coming up, actually, I'll stop there. If you're interested in becoming a judge for our network round, if you're a filmmaker and you're part of the Liftoff network already, if you get professional membership, you can actually become a judge in the network round itself. So details of that are on our website. Details of that are in our members hub. So if you're already in the members hub as part of a filmmaker that's part of this festival, you can actually upgrade to professional membership where you get some free submissions to our festivals, all these different things. But one of the most exciting things, certainly at this stage of the festival, is that you are then a voting member in the network round, and there will be jury selections that will go into the network round, and there's audience choice that will go into the network round as well. So everything's up for grabs. It's really exciting, and I think you guys are going to have a wonderful time getting in there and seeing all the exclusive content. But that's enough from me. Thank you very much. Have a great festival week. Have a great end of the festival week, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.